Hello class, and welcome to the very first video, kind of like a prime video in what I hope to be a long-running series about music education and different techniques I use to help me with the instruments I've learned throughout the years. Today's episode is just going to go through different guitar tunings. These tunings are typically used in songs I've listened to growing up or have learned, and they may be based on chords, they may be based on a specific open tuning, but this isn't necessarily a, study these first and you'll be well off or anything along those lines. It's more just about what I personally know and what I like to use. Before we get into the alternate tunings that we typically see, let's just talk about standard tuning for a real quick second. Standard tuning on the guitar from lowest to highest will be an octave of E strings. Now, in between those two strings are the notes separated mostly by fourths except one. What that essentially means though is there's E to A, which is separated by a fourth, and A to D, separated by a fourth again, fourth on a scale. And then also you have D to G, once more a fourth. But when you get to the G, B, that is a third. So that is a major third, which in context of alternate tunings can come in handy later when you're trying to either get a more major sounding or more minor sounding chord. And then you have right here another fourth, which is the B to E. With standard tuning, you're more bound to play nearly anything that you can see on a sheet, on standard notation sheet music. That's where you get the more standard chord shapes. That's where they come into play more so. One of my favorite alternate tunings that I like to use a lot is an FMaj7 chord. On the piano, it's stacked up as such. It's very sweet, piano-wise. With the guitar, it can have a really nice, soft, luscious sound. How it's stacked up on a guitar would be the same. It would be an F to an A to a C instead of a D. Keep the G there, but we'll also bring up the B note to a C and leave the high E intact to give it that 7 feel. The major 7 feel specifically. I was also going to do more comprehensive look at open D minor, but to be honest with you, I don't really use that often. I use more so open D major, but I decided for the purpose of this video to switch up the sounds of the chords. I kind of had the F major chord for the first example, so I kind of wanted to do more of a minor. But it is an interesting tuning. You have a decent sounding minor chord, a lot of consistent notes with really just the F in the middle kind of distinguishing it, but you can really have some fun playing with that in the one in the middle. Let me just some more harmonic funs with that too, like it's nice to kind of just discover new sounds and play around with them, which is really why alternate tunings are some of my favorites to play when playing guitar. Well, I was trying to find the exact name for this tuning, but this is essentially an E open tuning for acoustic guitar. And I got this tuning from a cover of a U2 song. This one's called Stuck in a Moment You Can't Get Out Of, from their 2000 album, All That You Can't Leave Behind. The original version of the song is more of a pop type sound with more acoustic drums and some organs underneath with some vocals, but of course, the version that I remember the most was from their performance on David Letterman with just Bono and The Edge. That tuning in particular was very interesting because I played that song many times and I've performed it before at open mics, but I always did it with standard tuning. But the way that The Edge played it, it was very different sounding. So I, of course, went on the internet and discovered that he used an E open tuning. So that was the first song actually to get me to discover alternate tunings in general. So I figured I'd just go through that tuning really quickly and just play along with it. So this one is more of an E to a B, and then you mirror the bottom string with the D, changing up to an E. Raise up the G string up to a G sharp. If you stayed in standard tuning, you can keep this to a B. Or, in case of other tunings, bring it back to a B, and of course top it off with the original high E string. So I'll just play a little bit from that song. So my phone died just as I was able to wrap it up, but basically just want to say thank you very much for tuning into the video. If you have any suggestions as to new topics you'd like to see me explore, please leave a comment below. Feel free to send over an email. Follow me at these social media tags right on the bottom as well, and I hope to have many more of these videos out for you in the coming future. Thank you very much.